Kid Cudi. Diddy.
Diddler. Fuck. Kid Cudi.
Diddler or who
Diddy.
we doing?
Either way is acceptable.
Kid Cudi. Diddy trial.
Let me put my shades on for this shit. The Diddy trial. The Diddy trial.
Get it.
The Diddler. This is...
It's a wild case right here.
And weird.
Yeah.
Weird. We talked about covering this, and we were like,
much.
this is too much freaky shit going on.
Too much.
That motherfuckers don't really want to
This is
listen
a family show right here.
But then we seen that Kid Cudi snitch. Kid Cudi went on the stand and
Testify.
We knew that something happened years ago. This is through the
We
culture.
heard rumors. Yeah, we
you know
heard
what I'm saying?
rumors.
That Diddy blew Kid Cudi's car up.
Crazy.
Which is crazy. But we don't know that. We didn't know it was true. He never really... Did he publicly ever say it?
Who, Kid Cudi?
Yeah. Did he ever say something? Did he say something in a song or something like that?
Probably an Instagram post or some shit. You know how they do
Maybe
nowadays,
he said something, but it wasn't loud.
Cryptic shit, but...
To our surprise, this
he
motherfucker...
really did that shit.
Really did that shit.
But was it blowed up or just...
I don't know. I don't know what he did.
Set it
was
on
he
fire?
in? Was he
Like,
in
what-
it and just set it on fire and dip?
Wait, Kid Cudi was in the car?
I don't know. Was he? I don't know.
Nah, he wasn't in the car.
Because it was
would've
a
been-
murder, attempted murder.
Yeah. That would have been a different story.
Maybe because it happened so long ago. What's the word? Statute of limitations.
Statute of limitations. Yeah.
Maybe with the crime that was committed, there was a statute of limitations. Like blowing somebody's car up. I think that there might be statute of limitations.
That's crazy.
So that's just what it is. So we're gonna be reacting to 9 wild moments from Kid Cudi's Diddy's trial.
Look at all this nigga's dress, bro.
I was about to
Like
say,
Fonzie, nigga. This nigga think he the Fonz,
nigga. He's not going to court. He got his belt undone.
Like,
Hey, yo, you going to a Diddy trial with
yo.
a belt undone is crazy. Nah, that's wild work. He got the leather jacket. It's like a wild.
I look at 9 moments from the rapper's testimony and what had the courtroom laughing.
What had the courtroom laughing?
They was laughing.
Welcome to
in there?
Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Kid Cudi, of course, is a rapper. He's an actor and a producer. But this week, he added Diddy trial witness to his list of titles. His legal name is actually Scott Muscudi.
Nah, to have that add to your titles.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Diddy witness is
Diddy
crazy.
trial
Work.
witness, yo.
Not one of a great rapper, a good producer,
Oh, he was a witness on the
but
Diddy
he also
case.
was a Diddy witness.
Yeah, that's wild.
Put that on your resume.
Witness Wood swore to tell the truth. You might be thinking, I thought this trial was about sex trafficking and prostitution. Well, it is. But Sean Combs also faces a racketeering conspiracy charge, or RICO. He's accused of using his businesses to carry out and cover up crimes. And Kid Cudi, the government alleges, is the victim of one.
You know what's so crazy talking about RICO?
Mm-hmm.
Nigga, he's by himself in the RICO.
In the
case.
RICO, yeah.
How are you by
There's
yourself
nobody
in the
else.
RICO?
Like,
Isn't that
that's
for
crazy.
like the RICO was started for the mafia?
Mob, yeah.
That's crazy work.
of those crimes, specifically arson. Combs, for his part, has pleaded not guilty to all of the charges, and he maintains his relationship with ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura was one that involved domestic violence, but not sex trafficking. And Cassie is the connection between Combs and Kid Cudi. Back in 2011, Kid Cudi,
Whoever that chick
was one that involved domestic violence, but not sex trafficking. And Cassie is the connection.
That's a dude. That's a dude?
Think so?
Give me my fucking money back.
Excuse me, sir. There's a young man in here. You need to watch him out.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
The way, the shoulders. It's in the shoulders.
Very
It's in the shoulders.
Marcus the Stallion and shit.
Action between Combs and Kid
Never
Cudi.
mind.
Back in 2011, Kid Cudi, or Scott Muscudi, testified that he and Cassie were dating.
Muscudi is his
He
name?
believed that she was broken up with Sean Combs at the
Muscudi.
time, but that may
Hold
not
on.
have been.
That, Scott Muscudi, though?
I would have blew his fucking Porsche up too, nigga. What the
Scott
fuck is that
Muscudi,
name,
nigga? That
nigga?
sound like some fucking
Scott Muscuddy. It sounds like a STD.
Completely true. Kid Cudi took the stand wearing jeans, a leather jacket, and a white shirt, and he told the jury about that night in December 2011 when Cassie called him very upset. Miss Cudi testified, "Well, I got a call from Cassie around 5:30 or 6 a.m., and she told me that Sean Combs had found out about us. I was really confused, but she asked me to pick her up. She sounded..."
He was smacking up Cassie? Like hitting it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Really stressed on the phone, nervous, scared, so I went to go pick her up, and yeah. Miss Cudi went on to explain why he was confused. Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson asked, "You testified that Ms. Ventura told you Mr. Combs found out about us. What was your understanding of what Mr. Combs had found out?" Ms. Cudi answered that me and her were dating. Johnson asked, "And you also testified that you were confused when you heard that?" Ms. Cudi answered yes. Johnson asked, "Why were you confused?" Ms. Cudi answered, "Because I didn't think she was dealing with him." Johnson asked, "And you mentioned that you went to pick her up. Is that right?" Ms. Cudi answered, yes. Ms. Cudi testified that he drove Ventura to a hotel in Los Angeles about 15 minutes from his home. Then he got a call from a woman who was a friend of Cassie's and an assistant of Sean Combs. Her name was Capricorn Clark. Ms. Cudi said, Clark said...
That's all, bitch.
Oh, that was a Capricorn Clark. Capricorn Clark is a man.
Capricorn, yeah, that's
a
all,
man trying to disguise as a man as another man.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
What? Nah, that's crazy. But they said that he didn't know that she was still with him, but then picked her up from his house.
Yeah, come on.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, come on.
What are we doing here? Come on with the bullshit.
That Sean Combs and an affiliate were in my house, and she was in a car. She was forced to go along with them over there. Johnson asked, "And what, if anything, did Ms. Capricorn say about where she was at the moment?" Ms. Cudi said, "She was in a car outside of my house waiting for them." Johnson asked, "And what, if anything, did Capricorn say about where Mr. Combs was at that moment?" Attorney Brian Steele objected, and it was overruled. Ms. Cudi testified, "In my house." Johnson asked, "After you spoke to Capricorn, what did you do next?" Ms. Cudi answered, "I got in my car and went to my house." Johnson asked, "That phone call?" "No." Johnson followed up, "Did anyone go with you when you went to your house after that phone call?" Ms. Cudi answered, "No." Ms. Cudi said he drove to his house. It was a 15-minute drive or so from the hotel, as I mentioned, where he was with Cassie. And on the way, he called Sean Combs. He had his number from years ago. He described what he said to Sean Combs.
Why would he call him?
Ms. Cudi testified, "I'm going to be very candid. I said, 'Mother effer, you in my house?' And he was like, 'What's up?' I was like, 'Mother effer, are you in my house?' And he said, 'I just want to talk to you.' I was like, 'I am on my way over right now.' He was like, 'I'm here.'" Ms. Cudi said that Combs' voice was calm.
So he went to
drove
Diddy's
his
house,
which he said had security cameras, but they weren't working that night. When he arrived, Ms. Cudi said the cameras appeared as if they had been moved to the side. Ms. Cudi said, "Some gifts that I bought for my family were opened, some stuff I got from Chanel, and then my dog was locked up in my bathroom." Our content shows just how important...
Diddy went to his house?
Yeah.
And was chilling in his crib and locked his dog in the bathroom?
What the fuck?
Nah, that is villainous. Yo,
hey,
I thought Kid Cudi went to his house.
I thought so too. I was.
So he was like, "Motherfucker, you in my house." Kid Cudi was saying that to Diddy.
Hey,
he said, "Yeah, I just want to talk to you, bro. Come through."
And then he said, "I'm here."
I'm here. It's crazy.
He's wild.
He locking the dog in the bathroom. This is not his first rodeo.
Yeah.
Well, to know to lock
the
your dog
probably bites. True. Man, you gotta like that dog up. That shit probably bite.
Cudi said he filed a police report about the break-in, and then he spent Christmas with Cassie at her parents' home in Connecticut. Johnson asked, "Directing your attention to January of 2012, did there come a time when you learned that your car had caught on fire?" Ms. Cudi answered yes. Johnson asked, "How did you learn that your car caught fire?" Ms. Cudi answered, "My dog's babysitter called me in the morning." Now keep in mind, it's 6:30 or 7 in the morning. The questioning continued. Johnson asked, "What was your understanding of where your dog's babysitter was located?"
So someone broke into your home, has access to your home, and you got such an ego. He was like, I'm still gonna have somebody here to watch my dog. The sitter was in danger.
Yeah, no, that's a fact.
The sitter's in danger.
I
bet you he didn't say anything.
Yeah, he probably didn't even tell her.
I bet you he didn't say anything. Or maybe he did, and she's like, well, you're paying me X amount of money, so, like, fuck it. Bring on Diddy. Pause. It's crazy.
When she called you, Miss Cudi said, at my house. Johnson asked, was it your understanding that your dog's babysitter was telling you what was happening in real time? Miss Cudi answered yes. Johnson asked, and what did your dog's babysitter say to you about what she saw? Miss Cudi answered, she told me my car was on fire. Johnson asked, was anyone else present at your house at the time? Miss Cudi said no. Johnson asked, where were you? Miss Cudi said, I was at my ex-girlfriend's sister's house. Johnson asked, approximately how far away from your house were you? Miss Cudi answered, like 45 minutes or something like that. Johnson asked, where was your car at the time your babysitter called? Miss Cudi said, in the driveway. Miss Cudi said his friend Chip took photos of the Porsche as he...
I thought he was with Cassie.
He was at his ex-girlfriend's sister's house.
And Cassie was just left at the hotel.
This is probably like a different day.
Oh, a different day. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, you're right.
drove back to his house. The photos show a hole in the top of the Porsche. There's also damage to the driver's seat from where the Molotov cocktail left burn marks, and there's damage to the door.
He used the
car was so
old-fashioned
badly
cocktail.
damaged.
Hey,
Miss
yo.
Cudi
That was him.
Yo.
90s ass nigga.
Yeah, no, that's some old school shit.
He threw a Molotov cocktail
the
at the
fuck?
car. It's crazy. I didn't even think that would work on a car, though.
That shit.
It's metal.
They said it was on the roof.
Oh, he put it on the roof.
It said it was on the roof of the car. But what, he just
Unbroken?
placed it?
I don't know. That's interesting.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because that's good aim if it just...
on the roof.
He's just, yeah.
I'm telling you, this is not his first rodeo.
What the fuck going on?
said it couldn't be repaired. When he arrived at his house,
Oh, it was a drop top.
Oh, it's a drop top.
So it's fabric. Because I was going to say, it's metal. How many Molotov cocktails do you have to throw in order to catch
That
a
makes
car
sense.
on fire?
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
he said the bottle from the Molotov cocktail was on the ground. It had been in the driver's seat. When asked his reaction to his
would've
car
hit him.
being torched,
He would have hit him if
very
he was in
simple.
there.
Miss Cudi said, he said, what the F word? Miss Cudi said the cops were at his house and he filed a police report, and it was his understanding this was no accident. A couple of days later, Miss Cudi said he had his manager set up a meeting with Combs through his head of security, D-Rock, at the Soho house. Miss Cudi testified, I walked in and I met D-Rock. He was escorting me into the room, and then I got to the room. It was one wall was all windows, and Sean Combs was standing there staring out the window with his hands behind his back like a Marvel supervillain.
The diddler.
Yeah.
The diddler. Hey, yo.
Yo, imagine that motherfucker got the question mark fucking suit on. It's fucking sitting. Yo, what
Yo,
the
Diddy's in his
hell?
own world, bro.
No, he's wild. You know what? When you have that much money and that much power and influence, you probably really do think that you like untouchable. Cause that's crazy.
Nah, yeah, he thought he was.
Says, I walked in and I met D-Rock. He was escorting me into the room, and then I got to the room. It was one wall was one little window, and Sean Combs was standing there staring out the window with his hands behind his back like a Marvel supervillain.
But what made him go to set up this meeting with Diddy?
Because of Cassie. Oh, no. What made who? Okay,
Cudi.
Cudi? I don't know. Why he set up a meeting?
3 days later, like after the incident. Like, what, he just suspected it was him out of nowhere? Or like, what just... Or does he have video
Maybe because
proof?
maybe there's a track record of Diddy wilding whenever someone's getting caught with Cassie. He's probably not the first person getting caught with
But
Cassie.
is it a track record?
Probably in the industry. I'm just assuming.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about it, but
This was the first thing I ever heard was the
yeah.
car thing.
Yeah, me too. But it's like, oh no, when he smacked up Drake. I don't think it was for Cassie though. I think it was for other shit. But like he has like some little. But he knows how to keep shit under wraps though. Since how long he's been in the industry, he had a whole beef with the West Coast. Like shit happened then, nobody was saying.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know.
He
It's
got
weird.
power.
He got power.
It was just
Not
me
no
and
more.
him in the room. No security, nobody. Miss Cudi said, we discussed, pretty much the whole story about how me and Cassie first started to date to what it was to how it ended. And his whole point was, we were homies, that was my girl. I let him know that, she told me they were broken up and I took her word for it. Yeah. Johnson asked, what was Mr. Combs' demeanor during
So that's what the meeting was just about. Him saying like, "Hey, can I get permission to date Cassie?" Or like letting him know like this is no hard feelings. Like me and Cassie are together now, type shit.
She told me y'all wasn't together.
Which is a lie because he picked her ass up at the crib. This is crazy.
this meeting? Miss Cudi said very calm. He kept offering me water. He offered me water twice. Johnson asked, what was your reaction to his demeanor? Miss Cudi said it was very off-putting. It was weird that he was so calm.
They was in Diddy's house or they was in Cudi's house?
I think they're at Diddy's house.
I thought they were in Cudi's house and Diddy's offering him water at his own crib.
No. Remember, because he walked in. Cudi walked into the room and Diddy was like
You're right.
looking out the window like a supervillain.
Kingpin.
Miss Cudi said Cassie then showed up, and he testified he was upset to find out that she had gone back to Sean Combs. He told the jury, quote, she pretty much kind of explained that we fell in love and things just happened and, Miss Cudi testified, yeah, we stood up, shook hands, and as I was shaking his hand, I said, what are we going to do about my car? I made sure to ask him right when our hands were clasped together, where he couldn't run away and I could look at him square in his eyes. And he looked right back at me, very cold stare, and said, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, okay. I took my hand from his, and he said, wait, I thought we were cool. Is there a problem? I was like, you...
Diddy's good, though. Hey, yo, Diddy, yo, that is crazy,
like,
bro.
What?
He's like, what car are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. I thought we was cool.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
Hey, yo.
Oh, that's why it took so long for him to get caught.
My car, right? You said that's your word. He said, yeah. I was like, that's it. When asked again, Miss Cudi said Combs' tone of voice was very calm. And after that day, there were no more break-ins at his home and no more car fires. A couple of years later, Miss Cudi said he saw Combs at the Soho house again, this time with his daughter. He said Combs said...
Look at that nigga's forehead, nigga. Brainiac, for real.
For real. Pinky in the brain.
Pinky in the brain, nigga.
But what is... How is they, like, tying this into Diddy if they're, like...
I think they're not. So, the little bits and pieces I've heard so far has nothing to do with his supposed charges.
Yeah.
It's more of a defamation of character type shit.
Yeah.
To say, hey, he's capable of this. So they're trying to build, like, a foundation
But
to
how
put
are
in
they
niggas' heads.
showing... I understand that part, but how are they showing this particular incident? Like... The whole car bombing. How is Diddy tied into this? If he he confronted Diddy and he said nah.
I didn't do it. Exactly.
So how is he still trying to say nah? He did it.
Exactly. Unless there's more, but exactly. Right now, this is just allegations from one side.
Yeah.
They're just bringing in people that have issues with Diddy. They probably surfed the web and was like, oh shit, this dude supposedly did something to Kid Cudi. So let's get Kid Cudi on the stand so he could tell his side. So he could just... Everybody that has anything wrong to say about Diddy, at any point, they're probably bringing it to court just for his character.
Yeah.
Just to assassinate his character.
Definitely, yeah.
Because you're right. This has nothing to do with the case, number one, and number two, this was never proven that he actually did this.
Yeah. I understand the whole character shit. That's what they're going to be doing. But I'm talking specifically about this car shit. Like, they had a whole meeting and he said, yo, I didn't do it.
You're a famous dude. Anyone could have done it.
Anybody could have did it. A crazy fan could have did it. It didn't happen before this meeting, and it didn't happen after this meeting. So, like, how are you pinning this on me?
That's a fact. No, you're saying facts. You're right. You're absolutely right. Who's that, Debo? In the back with the chains on?
Look like it.
Man, I just want to apologize for everything and all of the BS. There were no more conflicts with Sean Combs, and Miss Cudi said he made peace with it. Then came the cross-examination by attorney Brian Steele, who represented Young Thug. Steele set out to score some points, and he did. Steele questioned Muscudi about whether he knew that fingerprints and DNA samples were taken from his Porsche back in 2012. Muscudi said he called police about the incident a few times, but was not aware that DNA from the car came back as a female sample. Steele also pointed out that there were...
He hired a chick to do it?
Cassie? He was probably like, if you don't blow this shit up, you're done. No more free calls for you.
No more free calls. Yo, that's crazy.
There were no sightings of Sean Combs around Muscudi's property. Then the conversation turned to Cassie Ventura. Muscudi confirmed that Cassie ended their relationship in January of 2012, and he was confused because they had been talking and seeing each other for about a year. And he said at that time he wasn't aware that Cassie was seeing Sean Combs at the same time. Steele asked,
for a year?
Ms. Ventura was not frank with you, true? Muscudi answered, true. Steele asked, she played you. That was your words, right? Muscudi said yes. Steele asked, you had no clue. When she played you, she was convincing about that, right? Muscudi said, no clue. Steele asked, you were with her a lot, right? Muscudi said, mm-hmm. Steele asked, true? Muscudi said yes. Steele then pointed out that Sean Combs actually asked Muscudi in 2011 to do a song with Cassie Ventura. That was how the two met. Steele asked, you were in a studio doing your art with Ms. Ventura, that true? Muscudi said yes. Steele asked, and that's how you guys really became close, right? Muscudi said, we were cool before. Muscudi asked, and this didn't hurt your relationship, right? It was nice. You enjoyed the time with her, true? Muscudi said, yeah, it was truly just friends at that time. Steele asked, Mr. Combs wasn't around you and Ms. Ventura when you were with her, right? Muscudi said no. Steele asked, and she wasn't getting all these text messages from him to your knowledge when you were with her, right? Muscudi said, not to my knowledge. Steele also confirmed with Muscudi that Cassie told him that Combs was physically abusive toward her, but she never told Muscudi that Sean Combs sexually abused her. Steele also got Muscudi to say that Cassie Ventura was living two different lives when she was spending time with him. And during that meeting with Combs at the Soho house in 2012, after his car was torched, he said Combs was gracious, made no threats, and had no weapons on him. During redirect, Emily Johnson used Muscudi to remind the jury about incidents where
he's either innocent when it comes to that situation, or he's that diabolical. Because if I torch somebody's car, even if they don't know it's me, but I know that I did it,
yeah,
I'm keeping something on me. I'm keeping a security guard or something, because I'm like, what did he find out? He might know. You know what I'm saying?
You don't know how he's going to react. Exactly.
For him not to have no security, no weapons,
yeah, that's a fact.
No nothing, is either you're innocent, you didn't expect anything to happen, or you that diabolical. You knew you covered all your tracks type shit. It's crazy.
That's a fact.
That's some narcissistic, manipulative ass crazy shit.
For Cassie and Capricorn Clark confided in him about Combs' volatile behavior. Toward the end, Muscudi admitted that it was that behavior that made him walk away from his relationship with Cassie. Johnson asked, why did your relationship with Ms. Ventura end despite having feelings for her? Muscudi said the drama, it was just getting out of hand and kind of wanted to give her some space. Johnson said, what drama are you talking about? Muscudi said the break-in and everything. Johnson asked, why did you want to give it space? Muscudi said, just feels like things were just getting out of hand, and for my safety, for her safety, I just thought. Muscudi's responses prompts an objection in a sidebar where the parties go back and forth about whether or not it's proper for the jury to hear the rest of what he was going to say. Steele told Judge at a sidebar that he was going to move for a mistrial because he expected Muscudi to answer that Combs was violent, and he had been told that Combs had had other people killed. The defense is adamant it's highly prejudicial against Combs, but the government says they're just trying to get him to talk about his safety concerns that he had at the end of his relationship with Cassie. Ultimately, the judge decided that Emily Johnson must move on from this type of questioning.
Oh, so supposedly he was going to say that he knew somebody that killed him. I mean, he knew that, people that
Diddy
knows.
got killed, yeah.
He didn't officially say it. They told him to move on.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, why?
Some money's in somebody's pockets.
The judge said to move on.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The judge said that the attorney has to go say other questions because they had a sidebar. Yeah. But remember we talked about statute of limitations. Murder has no statute of limitations. Yeah. None. That's forever. So if he was gonna say something like that on the stand, even though it's hearsay, it wouldn't have stand for anything. But still, that's a crazy thing to say. Now you can't say that. Yeah. Interesting.
The testimony of Kid Cudi ended with him telling the jury that he believed that Sean Combs lied to him.
So what was it like in the courtroom when Kid Cudi was testifying? Elizabeth Milner with Law and Crime was there. So Elizabeth, were the jurors, did it seem like they knew who Kid Cudi was when he walked in and took the stand?
Yeah, it didn't seem that way from what I could tell, but I feel like from everyone in the gallery, they were there and they were ready to see Kid.
She look a little like Ashley Banks.
Yo, I was just thinking that.
Funny, see him walk inside that courtroom. It felt kind of like a movie moment.
She's just a regular person that went to the trial.
Yeah, probably like a PR person, like press.
You try to go to
a Diddy trial?
A Diddy trial?
Because that dude Myron was there.
Who Myron? Oh, he was there. I mean, we got freedom of press. We don't gotta say we're official. We got freedom of press and be like, we don't want to record. We're just here.
I mean, we kind of.
But they won't let us in. I think it's a federal trial. I think there's some shit about that.
Yeah, I don't want to go. I don't want to.
So you tell me you never wanted to go to the R. Kelly trials?
The fuck I want to go to the R. Kelly trials for?
I'm gonna give you some poo-poo. I'm gonna give you some pee-pee. I'm gonna give you some doo-doo. Wash it down with some wee-wee.
The fuck?
I'm gonna.
I didn't even want to go to my own trial. The fuck?
It's a little bit where everyone's turned around and then all of a sudden he just walks across to the witness stand, takes his seat, does the oath, all that. But, you know, him.
Yo, hold up. Because we read the caption that said he flicked a cigarette.
Yeah.
He had this jacket. He did have to. This nigga think he the Fonz for real, nigga. That's hilarious.
Snitching with a cigarette.
Super casual. He had a motorcycle jacket. He had a white T-shirt on. Even like from other witnesses that I could see testifying, they're always in suits. They're in more professional type of wear and that thing.
This was for him. He felt like this was a fuck you, Diddy. So he dressed like he's fucking.
Yeah.
like what? Like he was in
I'm not dressing up for this.
The 1980s fucking. White biker gang type shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Grease.
There we go.
But as far as Kid Cudi is concerned, yeah, motorcycle jacket, his earring, his jeans, just walked up to the stand pretty casual. I didn't see the cigarette smoking or anything like that. But, you know, when he was on the stand, he was very casual even throughout. He just seemed like he was just there to kind of speak his piece, say his part, and then just kind of move on from it. And he seemed like he was just kind of just ready to get this part over with for sure.
And he seemed like he was a little bit of a charmer, actually, on the stand. And I'm getting that just from the transcripts because it sounds like he was just authentic. He was just him. And there.
Trying to fuck? Yeah, what? He's a little bit of a. That's how he was looking at it.
Were some laughs from what I understand in the courtroom from some of his testimony, even though this is not a laughing matter. Tell me what happened with the laughing.
Yeah, so he had some interesting one-liners when he was on the stand testifying, a lot during the direct. So one of the big things was just his reaction to his car being blown up with a Molotov cocktail. And
ASU. What the F?
Yeah. They were AUSA Emily Johnson was just like, what was your reaction to everything? And then he just candidly said, what the F? Obviously, I can't say, you know, the real way he
I think we would all have that reaction if our car was blown up.
Exactly. And so
So that nigga just went there to play around.
Yeah, like, this is PR for him.
Yeah, that's bad PR for a rapper. Being on a stand at a Diddy trial is horrible PR. You know, there's still motherfuckers.
It's different. It's different than I don't think people out here gonna call Kid Cudi a snitch. Like,
he was very just real while he was on the stand. And to your point, Anjanette, very authentic, because when he didn't understand a question, he would be like, say what now? And just like very casual in tone, you know, even though he's testifying in federal court. And
Yo, they be putting too much into celebrities. Like, he's a regular, he's just like everybody else.
He would have said the same
he's just being
thing.
Casual.
Yeah.
So if I did that, then what? What? I'm just, what am I? You know what I'm saying?
He's not taking it serious.
Yeah, he's not taking it serious. He's disgracing the court.
For real.
He didn't call him Your Honor. Like, come on, what are we doing here?
Wasn't charming at all. He's like, fuck you mean? Charming.
You know what he actually did? He took a fucking cigarette out. He started smoking in the courtroom.
The disrespect to our
disrespect.
legislation. Like, come on, get the fuck out of here.
He had his belt off. Like, what's wrong with this guy?
Yeah, this guy.
This is ridiculous, dude.
It's a whole show.
all of that stuff. And then another big moment where he got kind of a big reaction from the gallery and some of the jurors too was just him explaining just the meeting at Soho House where him, Diddy, and Cassie all met together to kind of hash everything out. He explained that when he was first brought in, he was brought in by Diddy's security guard, D-Rock. And then he said Diddy was just sitting over there and that
D-Roll?
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 D-Roll is crazy.
That's
Nah.
what the D stand for?
D-Raw is crazy. Where's the indictment on that?
Oh yeah, no, that's
He need to be locked up for having a security named D-Raw.
He's getting secured by D-Raw. That is crazy.
portion of Soho House in a room over there, just looking like a Marvel supervillain. Those were literally his words inside the courtroom. And a lot of people just kind of laughed at this moment. I don't think Diddy necessarily found this particularly funny, but he definitely got a big reaction from everyone in the courtroom.
But that paints a picture, because I think we can all kind of see that, like a Bruce Wayne moment where you walk it,
And there it is. It's all about painting a picture of his character. There it is. Because what the fuck does this have anything to do with him supposedly trafficking people? I'm not seeing the
But
correlation.
this isn't even really painting a picture of his character if it's not even proven.
True or proven. But that's the dirty tricks that they try to play, though. You know that. That's the dirty tricks these motherfuckers play.
But if anybody could see through that,
exactly.
like, it's not even proving he did this.
You
I'm
know
talking about
motherfuckers
proving he did the car bomb, not the everything else.
That's what I'm saying. That's
he
what I'm saying.
probably did that shit. Like,
but he's not even on trial for. He's not trial for sex trafficking. But with the sex trafficking, they're just saying that he paid for prostitutes. Prostitutes from, and it wasn't even just pussy. Prostitutes, He. Watch your mouth, because it wasn't even just pussy. But he paid for prostitutes on other states.
Yeah.
They came willingly, and they did what they think.
All right, what's your take on that?
So by law, that's technically
by law, but morally and what?
Morally is wrong, but also
paying for that morally is wrong anyway. You're not supposed to do that. Like, if you're a religious person.
Yes.
But we all know people do this. Prostitution is the most oldest occupation in the world.
Yeah, it was in
the
the
Bible.
Bible.
We know people is out here doing this shit. So like, are we just labeling people that do that as sex traffickers?
But so
legally they will be.
They
but
are. Are we saying it as in like they're extremely heinous and they're making people do things against their will type shit?
Yeah.
No, because no, it's not.
Because wouldn't a lot of these celebrities or most of these celebrities be?
I seen a video.
Be locked up for that right now.
Yeah, what if when?
How they gonna move around? They're famous.
Boom. Hey, what up, girl? Where you at? You in Cali?
Yeah.
I'm in New York. Let me fly you out.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You know what we could do? Whatever. Let me fly you out.
Sex act.
Now you're a sex trafficker? Listen, I'm not vouching for Diddy at whatsoever.
Nah, not at all.
I'm just saying.
That's wild, though.
Yeah.
Now you're a sex trafficker because of that?
Because of that.
Like, I just saw you on Instagram. I ain't know you was in Cali, feel me? I want to see you.
And think about the term sex trafficker. Think about that title. When you think sex trafficker, right? What do you think about? What's the first thing that comes to your head?
Kids in a van.
That's it, right there. Boom. And that's why it's so crazy.
Yeah.
And that's why they keep using that sex trafficker term.
Yeah.
Because that is what we see sex trafficking as.
And these were like willing people because
and then
they paid. and they accepted the money.
And then all the conspiracies where Hollywood is sex trafficking children is already in everybody's heads. When we see Diddy's sex
Tied
trafficking,
oh, now he's the king of this shit now. He's the brand ambassador of the...
But Epstein killed himself, though.
Yeah, come on.
Let's get back to it. It's crazy, bro. Well, no. What do you think about it? What do you think? You agree with that? My take, as far as
Nah, I don't agree that people should be labeled as that. Like, technically, legally, I guess it is, but
yeah. So you think should he go to jail for this? Okay.
Whoa, but he got a lot of other cases on this too.
Put Cassie to the side, right? The shit that happened at the hotel. He should get put away for that. But that's assault. You're not doing years and years for assault.
Domestic.
Domestic. You know, motherfuckers do that
all the time.
Not motherfuckers I fuck with.
Yeah, but niggas do that shit all the time.
Motherfuckers do that shit all the time, right? And they're out.
They're not on a RICO.
Months. Yeah,
You're not
exactly.
on a fucking RICO for that, which is crazy.
Now, put that to the side because he should do time for that. I'm going to say that because the way that was disgusting to me. I'm going to be honest.
Bro, he was kicking her.
Like a defenseless woman. Like,
chasing
regardless.
her down. Like
regardless, that's weird. In a towel. In a towel. Like, how crazy you got to be?
She from Connecticut, bro. What you...
Yeah.
He wild.
So, for real. So, putting that to the side. Say that never happened. We never seen that. Blah, blah, blah. We just know about the sex trafficking shit. Should he be put in jail for this? For hitting people up and saying let's have a freak off?
For just those, not everything else he did.
What else is he on trial for?
Oh, just on trial. I thought you meant just like accusations, like.
Oh yeah, what he's on trial for. I think he's just on trial for the sex trafficking, right? If I'm not mistaken. That's why it's so confusing.
But it's a lot of shit.
All this shit is
I heard
conflated.
it throughout the background that Diddy did that. Makes me had a judgment on his character.
100%.
Like,
I agree.
This nigga been a piece of shit to me.
I agree. He's just getting what he deserves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yep. That's what it is.
He's getting what he deserves. The law side of it is weird. It's weird. Technically, he is sex trafficking. Technically.
Yeah, but I don't feel like...
But that's going to open a lot
They're literally willing, though. He's paying people. It's not like he's grabbing people. Like, what you think of sex trafficking. How they grab people, put them in a van and shit like that. Unwillingly. So, like, these people are literally... He's hitting them up.
Because he knows he's going to get
they're going to get paid.
And they're getting paid.
And they're getting the fuck... What's the name? Cassie. Some people say there was days I didn't even get paid. I just was getting... I was willing to do what's the name? Cassie, yeah. So, it's like... You're a willing participant, so like it's crazy.
Yeah, it's an odd one, bro, for sure. It's an odd one.
You envision that you walk into a room and there's a big window and there's a guy standing there. We can kind of it paints a picture of what he encountered. It sounds nuts. And then he basically told the jury that he thought Sean Combs was lying, which I found amazing that was allowed in. He thought Sean Combs was lying when Sean Combs was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Your car got blown up? What do you mean?
Yep. Diddy lying about everything. Yeah, I was surprised that part got in because that was kind of more towards the...
Did he do it?
Mm-hmm.
End of his testimony where he kind of got that little portion in. But he seemed like he knew who was behind this the entire time. When he was asked whether it was accidental or intentional, he was firm in believing that this was an intentional act. I know kind of under the cross-examination, it
was obviously intentional, but it doesn't say it was from him. You know what I'm saying? That's not obvious, but it's obviously someone intended to do that.
Kind of trying to frame it as maybe someone else did it. There were female fingerprints found on the
DNA,
Molotov. Exactly. But he seemed firm that Sean Combs, aka Diddy, might have been the one responsible for what had happened to his car, which was never able to be repaired after the fact.
And of course, there were never criminal charges filed. So we have to be...
So this nigga blew up his car and didn't even have to pay for the damages. Yo, this nigga's crazy.
He probably didn't do it.
That's what I'm saying, though. He probably didn't.
He probably didn't do it. So that's insane.
Clear on that. But Elizabeth Milner, thank you so much for giving us a glimpse into the courtroom where we can't have cameras. Appreciate it.
Of course.
Kid Cudi didn't say anything as he left federal court. After testifying, he got into a Cadillac Escalade and left. But he posted a video on X.
Hey guys,
Tyler Perry ass nigga. Get this nigga out
You heard
of here,
how
bro.
tight this motherfucker's jacket is? You heard the creaking out of the jacket? God damn.
Breathe, bruh.
Breathe.
Didn't say anything as he left federal court after testifying. He got into a Cadillac Escalade and left, but he posted a video on X.
Hey guys, so I just want to say, man, I've been seeing all the love and support, and I just want to say thank you so much, man. People have been hitting me up the past week, just checking in, and even today, and it really means a lot to me, man. You guys are the best. I love y'all. This is a stressful situation. I'm glad it's behind me, and yeah, I love y'all, man. Big love. Go stream Neverland.
So let's talk about Kid.
Publicity.
It's stressful. I just want to put it behind me. This shit happened in 2012.
Bruh.
What is going on?
So yeah, go stream Neverland. Come on, bruh. This is all like a show, bruh.
He's
all
making a
theatric,
mockery.
bruh.
He's making a mockery of something that's supposed to be serious.
Serious, yes.
What are they doing?
But it's their fault for choosing these type of cases.
Yep.
Like, I understand what they're trying to do, build his character, but this not even really showing his character.
Especially when he's doing shit like that. Little fucking Instagram posts of streaming his music.
Yeah, that's
like, people see through that. Well, people should see through that. I'm gonna be honest.
People
man.
should see through it.
It sounds like I'm kind of vouching for Diddy. I'm not. It's just I'm objective.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You kind of gotta not be a sheep. Just look at all the evidence around it. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of evidence against him. You don't gotta have things that are not relevant in the mix because it confuses everything and it starts negating all the. You start questioning all the real evidence because you got bullshit like this.
Exactly.
That's my opinion.
Exactly.
That's crazy. Who this fucking nigga right here?
Kid Cudi's testimony. I want to bring in Nima Rahmani. He's an entertainment lawyer, also a former federal prosecutor, so he knows all about this stuff. So obviously, they're bringing Kid Cudi and Nima to talk about this thing about the car and the car being blown up or set on, the Molotov cocktail. It wasn't really blown up, but there was obvious damage to the vehicle, and this plays into the RICO charge, the racketeering conspiracy charge. Does this really, in your opinion, really back up that charge?
I think it does, Anjanette. Maybe this is the former federal prosecutor in me. This is why. Cassie testified that Combs made the threat directly to blow up the car. Maybe we expected a kind of a mob-style explosion, but arson doesn't require that, right? A Molotov cocktail in your porch that burns it is enough. And the reason I like this is obviously the defense got out that, it wasn't definitively tied to Combs and that the DNA in the vehicle was a female's. Right. But I think there's enough circumstantial evidence, given the threat and the timing, for the jurors to believe that it was Combs.
How? I hate when they say,
I know
but
I know, there's no evidence against Diddy doing this. I know the evidence didn't even match him. I know no one saw anything. The DNA
wasn't his.
I know there were probably cameras all around his mansion. Didn't pick anything up. I know all that. I know, but
the timing,
it was Diddy.
Pretty suspicious. Like, come on.
Suspicious, don't you say? Yeah, come on.
It sounds ridiculous.
Sex traffic. Come on. It's crazy.
And I like these types of predicate acts because it allows the prosecution to somehow potentially get to racketeering without proving sex trafficking. I think they've proven sex trafficking, but let's say the jurors think that this was all consensual, the freak-offs.
He didn't sound too confident in that. He slipped up. Yep. He's like, we might not have sex trafficking. We got racketeering, though. But even though I think they do have, he's slipping up. Things is looking a little, look at him.
Yo, hey, no.
That nigga look like the penny, nigga.
Yo. Hey,
you look like the penny.
That's a fact, bro.
Crazy. Oh hell no.
You have arson. You have extortion. You have blackmail. You have kidnapping. You have other potential activities that can get you that pattern of racketeering without sex trafficking.
So I want to break that down a little bit, and we're going to get to that. But you made two good points there. On cross-examination, Brian Steele, got out that there was female DNA that they tested for in the car. So, we don't know that Combs's DNA was ever linked to this. He's accused of running a criminal enterprise. So it's not like he would have gotten his hands dirty and done this himself.
I'm a criminal. What was the name? Bad Boy? That was the enterprise? Because if that's the case,
then all the artists need to be
Rico too.
It's Rico, yeah.
So it's not that because they wouldn't be Rico.
Exactly. That's what they did with YSL. And their
Mace,
artists.
Mace would be shitting brick right now if that was the case. There's a lot of people on Bad Boy, to be honest.
But everybody else is either gone or transitioned to some type of religion.
That's crazy.
If he would have had somebody else do it, possibly. But they didn't explicitly tie it to Combs, but Combs apparently said a couple years later, hey man, I'm sorry about all that. That was my girl. I thought we were homies. So he kind of apologized for it. But then Brian Steele also brings up this whole thing about, Cassie playing Kid Cudi. He felt that she had played him. And that I think could be very powerful for the jury. Don't you think that could be powerful for the jury? Because it goes to possibly, as you brought up, you don't think they've proven sex trafficking, but it could go to this whole thing about Cassie, the defense argument that she's an opportunist.
Yeah, I think the government has proven sex trafficking, but I know people watching, some of them don't believe they have. But you're right, Anjanette. Brian Steele's one of the best. I mean, obviously, we covered him for many months on the Young Thug case. It seems like a never-ending trial. And so the fact that he was added to the team to cross-examine this witness really shows how good he is. I agree with you. I thought he got...
Is it the person that was the defense attorney of Young Thug, or he was the prosecutor, the one that was trying to get Young Thug locked
the
up?
one that was like, yo, you gonna have to arrest me too if you gonna.
Okay.
He was.
So he's on the prosecuting team right now.
No, he's on Diddy's side.
Defensive.
He's on Diddy's side.
Okay.
3 very good points out. The first is with respect to the arson, that really there's no direct evidence tying Diddy to it. Maybe the threat and the apology years later. I also thought that there was good evidence that Cassie might have talked about physical harm that she suffered by Combs, but she never mentioned any sexual assault or sexual abuse. That was a very important point that came out during cross. And then, like you said, the fact that Cassie was playing both of them, I thought that was a good point that came out as well. Maybe she wasn't the victim that she's saying that she is. Again, not saying I believe it, but what you see the defense trying to do here is build Cassie up. And this was a theme even in their opening statement when Tenny Garagos got up there and said that this is a strong, capable woman who was making her own decisions, and she chose to participate in these freak-offs. And she's the one who broke up with Combs years later. She was dating other guys at the same time. So I understand and I like what the defense is doing, and I think that
that's all true.
And that's all facts.
And she ended up leaving, right? On a court, and she's alive.
Exactly. It's not like he... And what happened to this dude? Did he blow his car up?
Yeah, or all the other
guys,
the other
supposedly. Ones too. Like, what happened with them? Like, was he being crazy?
It's just Kid Cudi.
Yeah.
Why just Kid Cudi? Maybe he was one of the biggest artists at the time.
And it would have been
2012. He was definitely huge.
And all that shit.
Yeah, I think in did he come out with Day and Night 2012?
Around
or 2009. I know
that was way earlier than that, right? But still, he was still a Pursuit of Happiness, all that shit.
Yeah, he was still big. He was still big time. He's right.
Nah, they're right.
Cassie seems like she's the.
She was able to go freely, like leave, go on to the next relationship.
Well, let's not get it twisted. We did see the video of her getting beat up.
Yes.
So obviously there was some controlling shit going on, because it looked like she was definitely trying to leave that day.
Yeah, definitely.
so she wasn't able to. Did. So, I mean,
but yeah,
that's an interesting one. So when you have that type of evidence, it's hard to say she was able to leave on her free will, because we obviously seen that at least that day she wasn't. So,
but when you have so many days of you being out and he's not even with you, like.
Yeah,
she's been with Kid Cudi for a whole year. And he didn't even know that, like, she was messing with both of them at the same time.
No,
he said she was with them all the time.
Yeah,
Kid Cudi. So like,
where was Diddy?
She had free will.
But
She
maybe
had
that was
to
at
have.
a point that Diddy, Diddy's with a whole bunch of chicks at the same time too.
Yeah.
So he's probably like, this is her year.
Yeah.
Imagine that. This is her year. So just go do your thing for a year. I'll come back to you at the end of the year.
I mean, it looks like that.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, because then he had J-Lo for a while. Then he had Kim Porter. Then he had... So it's like been... Then he had Young Miami. What else after? But like we seen Diddy with more people than Cassie.
But supposedly he was
But
with
we
Cassie
never
that
seen
whole time.
Cassie.
We never
with
seen
other
Cassie
people
with
than Diddy though.
just always on the low.
Mm.
But Diddy's always been with other chicks publicly. But it was
Publicly,
around the
though.
same time that he was supposedly with Cassie though.
Yeah, Diddy did
Why
that
we never
shit.
questioned that?
Diddy did that shit.
Why we never questioned that?
He held her captive, bro.
That's one of the thing of domestic violence, right? Is you seclude them from everybody. Because remember, bro, me and you, I've been waiting on playing to, like, she was popping. And then all of a sudden, no more
What
music
other
made.
song? What other song?
That's what I'm saying. That song, she never even made a song after that. She got with Diddy after that song.
Yeah, but like, what?
And then that was it.
Bro, but
Why?
we know there's one-hit wonders. She's not the first one-hit wonder.
But she never put out a song for us to even be like, that's a whack song.
Nah, she
Not that
put
I
out-
know of.
She put out more.
She probably put out an
after.
album, probably, but like someone that, especially you with Diddy, like he's
Yeah.
a music mogul. He can't put you on to some crazy
Hold
songs.
on. Is Me and You her only song?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
I don't think
either.
that's the only
So,
song I
like,
know.
That's the only song I know too, but like I
And
don't
that shit
think that's
was
her
popping.
only song. Yeah, but
But no,
just
my
for
only
her
thing is
not
he's
making it doesn't mean that it's his fault.
Nah,
like, there's
but
mad fucking.
But why
one-hit
didn't Diddy
wonders.
put her on those songs? Diddy, we're talking about the music mogul.
Yeah,
Why she never got another hit? He is the hit maker.
he is the hit maker.
Why he never? Why making the band, whatever the fuck it was called?
Yeah,
Why she never got another song? You know he had power to like, hey, collab with, and
Yeah.
that never happened. She literally just went quiet, and then
she
this
was in a dungeon.
sex dungeon.
Yo,
Is really part of their strategy in this case.
So let's go now to the RICO charge, because when I think of RICO charges and racketeering conspiracy, it's rooted in and it came from, the mob. And I think of the mob setting up businesses, the rackets, to commit crimes, or they're running businesses to cover up crimes. This seems a little bit different to me because, yes, Sean Combs was an entrepreneur setting up Bad Boy Records and running, fashion labels, all these different things. And it seems like the government is saying he used his business to cover up and commit crimes. So it seems almost kind of like a little bit different in that respect. But you're
does.
saying you think they will get to.
It
Which
does
crimes?
seem different though. But even if there was crimes and like they're trying to blame it on bad boys and all that shit, it's like, bro, this is my income.
Or he said, I think they're saying that was like, the hood, right? They have a store. It ain't really a store. It got a couple snacks in there.
Yeah.
But that's not what they usually use it for. They use it for other shit. They're saying that's what Bad Boy was. But that's not true.
Yeah, that's not true.
Like, at all. Bad Boy's
Was a label.
a
Music
label that had
artist.
the biggest artist ever
Yeah, Biggie.
gone through that. It's not like it was a bullshit label that we don't know anything.
Jink.
I don't think that's a good tactic or a good
Yeah.
reasoning, because they're trying to say he was laundering money. They're saying
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know.
that's a possibility to launder money through his shit. Maybe it looks legit.
But
on the
they're saying
outside
that he was using his enterprise to
commit crimes. But
yeah,
what does
to
that
commit
mean?
the sex trafficking crimes.
Well, they didn't specifically say that. I think they didn't specifically say that for a reason. What crimes are they talking about? Because we all know he wasn't using Bad Boy to commit sex
Yeah.
trafficking, because the sex trafficking charges is him personally calling people, not under Bad Boy.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't drop a song with some cryptic
And
text.
like you said, there will
through.
be other people that will be going down with him too,
Except
not just
for just
him.
him. If it was
Like,
Bad
what
Boy.
about all the behind the scenes people? Like,
exactly all the engineers and this
executive,
and that.
this, that, the paperwork people.
Yeah, this
Like,
seem
come
a
on.
little weak when you really kind of break it down.
This is a weak.
You know what I mean?
What's the name?
I think they might get him on the sex trafficking.
But I heard it's 3 months though, so this is just the beginning though.
Yeah, but unless they say as far as the sex trafficking thing, if he goes, nah, I paid them to come over. It just happened
That we
all
have
had sex.
Yeah.
I paid them to come over because I want to I'm rich. I could fly people out, and I wanted people to come to the house.
Yeah.
Then all of us, we had a good time. We drinking. The baby oil came out, and then
Yeah, the baby oil came out.
You know what I'm saying? It's a little dicey when it comes to that
But-
portion. I'm sure there's other things he's being
But
charged
yeah,
with.
because I heard like she was doing it for 4 days. Like, was he forcing her to do it for 4 days? Could she not come out?
She said that she didn't want to.
Oh, so yeah.
That's what she said though. But then there's text messages of her saying, "I can't wait to freak off with you, do a freak off with you."
Yeah, but that's a freak off. But when you saying like 4 days now, come on, like her shit probably sore. She probably not wanting to do that.
You never did a 4-day stint?
4 days?
You never did a 4-day
no,
stint?
Nigga. No, nigga. That is crazy.
4 days?
You go rub the skin off my shit. Like, what the fuck?
Remember that interview with Young Miami? And
she said she liked to get pissed on.
no, when she was interviewing Diddy, and then she goes, "How long can you go?" And he goes,
4 days. Nah.
She goes, "You know," and she goes, "Yeah, you know, you tell me how long I could go."
You know what she said?
And she goes, she tried, like, you could tell she was a little uncomfortable, because at the time I don't think anybody knew that they were fucking around.
No.
Like during the interview.
No. They was openly wasn't.
Oh, they was open to doing it. I didn't know until that interview. I was like, oh shit, he's fucking with Miami. Like, what the hell? That's weird. And then she's like, girl, let me tell you, like, he don't sleep. He don't sleep. So.
Because he's in the corner jerking the fuck off.
Nah, because he's coked up.
Yeah, that too.
Bugging. Remember when he had the perm?
Did he had a perm?
Put the clip.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna wear this here in Toronto in the morning.
You remember the
I remember
perm?
the mohawk.
Nah,
The
you don't remember
mohawk
the
was
Diddy
crazy.
perm?
Did he have a perm?
Do the racketeering
I'm gonna
charge
show you
because
after.
right now I'm seeing little pieces of that. I'm seeing, obviously, we saw the extortion with Regina Ventura, Cassie's mother. Now we're seeing a possible arson. It sounds like it probably was tied to Sean Combs, but not definitively. You think they will get there, that they'll be proving that Bad Boy Records was a criminal enterprise?
I do. And like you said, Anjanette, historically racketeering was used for the mob or cartels or criminal street gangs, right? You actually have a criminal enterprise. And that's how it was used for decades since the law was passed in the 70s. And obviously states ended up passing their own version of RICO statutes. But we have seen a tremendous growth in use of RICO and racketeering statutes.
So I bet you have.
So maybe, because they keep doing this RICO shit, and now they're saying Bad Boy is the enterprise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe all those other people are under surveillance. We just don't know.
They probably
Maybe
don't
they
get
are.
done.
It's a RICO case, so all their shits are probably being able to get tapped. Because once it's RICO, it's free reign.
Yeah.
All their phones are tapped right now as we speak, and they're
probably the
building
jurors.
a case.
They probably the jurors, nigga.
Yo, what is going on?
They would have to
another
have
second.
more people because it's an
A
enterprise.
RICO by yourself.
It's a fucking enterprise. He doesn't own Bad Boys by himself.
Exactly.
He's not running it by himself.
Exactly.
Come on.
Exactly. No one ever runs a corporation that big.
That
by themselves.
big by themselves? Come on.
So
We could barely.
it ain't just
come
him.
on. It's ridiculous.
Damn.
sex trafficking cases, R. Kelly and Nexium. We even saw it in the Donald Trump Fulton County case in Georgia.
So he just we were talking about the Diddy trial. He just mentioned R. Kelly and then Donald Trump.
I heard Obama tied it into this.
He was supposed to tie it into the. Epstein thing,
too.
shit too.
Yeah, I heard he tied into this Diddy shit too.
Obama and Michael.
Michael and I.
Michael and I.
So this is a great tool for prosecutors. I'm not saying that it's appropriate, but prosecutors love it because with RICO, you bring in a lot of people and you bring in a lot of evidence into the case. You can have, RICO acts that are state charges. You can have RICO acts that are outside the statute of limitations. And by bringing everyone in, you can really lean on them if you're a prosecutor. You can get people to flip and cooperate. Otherwise, they could be charged with a RICO.
So what he's saying is true. They are desperate for bringing in Kid Cudi. That means they have nobody. They're just trying to flip everything, and hopefully there's something. That's what's happening. Because he's right, but they're not at that point yet. Yeah. They're trying to get to that point. Wow.
This is dirty though. On the legal side, this whole RICO shit.
That's just what it is.
Dirty, bro.
That's just what it is. That's what they had to do for the mob because the mob was so powerful. Yeah. They had to do that.
But they are advancing it like he just said. He literally just said with the RICO, it's been advanced.
Mm-hmm. They could go past the statute of limitations.
Yes.
So what is the point of a statute of limitation? There ain't no limitation.
This RICO seems like they could do whatever the fuck they want and just be like, oh, it's a RICO.
It's a RICO. Because
you don't know what a RICO really is. It's a RICO. Like what?
This seems like the weakest case of a RICO that I've known.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I mean?
This is crazy.
RICO conspiracy.
I'm still not vouching for Diddy. I just want the viewers to know that.
See, even if they were just buying, baby oil and lube and condoms for the freak-offs and cleaning them up afterwards, right? Even though they didn't participate in the sex acts, if they were co-conspirators or they're aiding and abetting, they could be charged.
The janitors about to get popped. The janitors,
bruh. The fuck, yeah, nah, that's crazy.
Didn't they go through enough?
Yeah, nah, for real.
Cleaning the shit up. Yo, what?
So now they got PTSD. They're traumatized, and they gotta go to jail. More PTSD.
That's crazy. The janitors. If anybody knows,
but that is cleaning up evidence.
That's
cleaning up evidence, nigga. Hey, yo.
But if anybody knows anything, it's the janitors.
I saw nothing.
Janitors peep everything, bro. I guarantee it. They had to clean everything.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
Substantively in a RICO conspiracy. But let's just take a step back and go through some of these elements. Like you said, the criminal enterprise. It doesn't have to be a rigid organization. Under the law, it's just a loose association of two or more people. And if there's an agreement to do something unlawful.
Two or more people. Who's the second person other than Diddy then?
Exactly.
Is there somebody else that we just don't know about? Are they saying Cassie's part of that?
No, because she's not getting charged with
so
this.
Two or more people under an enterprise in order to meet the threshold of a RICO. Where's the second person?
Diddy and Puff Daddy.
You got three. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Love.
Yo, yeah.
Damn.
Those are elements of a RICO conspiracy.
Very interesting. Because a lot of people are saying
it's not even
this is thin. This may be overcharged. But it sounds like you don't think that.
Well, I'm a former federal prosecutor. I'm a current victims lawyer, so I might be a little bit biased, but I think there is enough here. You have Sean Diddy Combs, the head of this organization, right? And what he does, whether it's extorting Regina Ventura, he has his people do it for him, right? Whether it's blowing up the car, even the threat that he...
I'll take that back. I can see why they're saying Bad Boys as an organization. Because she was under Bad Boys, Cassie. So that is
there was sex trafficking, and then she was...
They're probably withholding back her career for his sexual shit. So that is him using the business against her. That would be using the business as an enterprise.
Nah, the business doesn't have to be against someone. It has to be used in the crimes, under the crimes. That's the whole thing. Like
but
the
it
mob,
is.
It was
That's
like
what I'm saying.
crime.
But it is though, because
so that'd be okay. So that'd be more like blackmailing.
Yeah. extortion, blackmailing
they will
type
have to
shit.
prove that blackmailing part.
Yeah,
because the blackmailing will
well, I
say,
guess that's her whole case about her album never coming out, but she always thought, and he was.
That she said that? I didn't know she
I
said
guess
that.
that was, yeah. So I guess that's why they're saying Bad Boys.
They're using his
as an enterprise. Because he's using Bad Boys, his business, as leverage to do freaky shit.
What about these weird? There's been a lot of cases. Say, a teacher or the dean of the school, and it's like, hey, if you do this, I'm gonna pass you in your grades, or whatever. Da 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 da. That's considered using your enterprise. That's considered enterprise now.
That is though. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Nah, exactly. It's a slippery slope.
That's interesting. I see what you're saying.
Nah, but
and it's a
I
threshold,
see that though
you know
too.
What I'm saying? Oh, but they don't own the school. They're just the dean of it.
True.
They don't own the school.
But if the owner of the school was doing that, then yeah.
But getting paid? Does he have to get paid for it?
What you mean?
Because that to me is just I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. Because does he have to get paid for the act in order for it to be considered
enterprise?
Well, enterprise is it's a actual thing. It's an enterprise.
Yeah. That's why.
But I'm talking about what's the threshold that has to be met to say you're using your organization for crime?
In that case that you said, like with the dean and all that.
Nah, not the dean. The owner of the school, asking for a sexual favor in order for that person to get a position at the school.
Yeah, right there.
I don't think that's using your enterprise though. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, it's more your power than your enterprise, but it just so happens charge. To be your enterprise.
But that's also another charge. I never thought about that aspect of it, so I don't know. But that is an actual charge. You being in a position of power and doing something to a subordinate. That's sexual assault, but there's a different type of sexual assault because even if the person consents to it, since you're in a position of power and you're doing that, it's a sexual assault. But being the owner of something and saying you're
so he did sexually assault her then.
Yeah, if
that's the case.
If she's but it's different from. So he's the CEO, but I don't know. It's a private sector, so they might have different rules of fraternization. Like schools, like even if you're a college professor, messing with an of age student, you go to jail. For a sexual assault, even though they're of age with each other, but that's from a school standpoint. But from a label, I don't think they have the same type of laws. I don't know what those laws are.
Yeah,
because the person that owns the label can't mess with one of their artists. If that was the case, a lot of people going to jail.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people. So I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm even more confused because, you could say Diddy was using his leverage over her, but she could have been doing the same thing. Her leverage is the pussy. Feel me? He knows he wants that, so she's like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get
money.
Yeah, to get money.
Security.
They both could have been using each other.
Yeah.
Made Regina Ventura said that Combs said that it wouldn't be him personally who hurts Cassie and Kid Cudi. It would be someone else. And in fact, Combs would be out of the country at the time. So he's not doing this himself. You know, look, there's a reason you have Kaplan and James, the personal assistants, say that, look, if I was buying, food or flights, I would charge the company card. But if I was doing something for the freak-offs, I would be paying cash. And, Combs had his infamous Louis Vuitton bag with thousands and thousands of dollars in cash. Look, there's nothing wrong with paying cash, but when you're using your company card for certain things and you're paying cash for drugs and sex worker,
then boom, he's free from that then. Then he's not using his company for
any type of criminal activity.
So boom, y'all just said the case.
Wait, hold on. He seems like this is the weirdest thing in the world. He goes, you're using a company card for company stuff and non-company stuff?
For non-company
money? Yeah, no shit.
Duh.
What?
And if that's the case, then
I'm talking about even if I'm doing legal stuff, 100% legal with my company.
Buying gas.
I am not
using a company card.
Using my company card to buy myself food.
Yeah.
To buy myself clothes.
Yeah.
I'm not using my company card. What are we talking about?
Exactly.
See, listen, I'm sure there's good points and there's reasons for him being there, but this guy is not
biased.
doing it justice.
No, he even admitted he was biased.
Because that didn't even make any. That honestly didn't make any sense
at all. Run it back.
Paying cash, but when you're using your company card for certain things, and you're paying cash for drugs and sex workers and lube, car. Even the threat that he made, Regina Ventura said that Combs said that it wouldn't be him personally who hurts Cassie and Kid Cudi. It would be someone else. And in fact, Combs would be out of the country at the time. So he's not doing this himself. Look, there's a reason you have Kaplan and James, the personal assistants, say that, look, if I was buying, food or flights, I would charge the company card. But if I was doing something for the freak offs, I would be paying cash. And, Combs had his infamous Louis Vuitton bag with thousands and thousands of dollars in cash. Look, there's nothing wrong with paying cash, but when you're using your company card for certain things and you're paying cash for drugs and sex workers and, lube and condoms, I mean, the jurors aren't stupid. That is illegal activity. That's why you're paying the cash, and that's why you're having your underlings do it.
Let's go back to Kid.
Okay.
No shit.
No shit. So, but that doesn't put back. He's separating his business and his illegal activity.
Mm-hmm.
He's not using the company card for illegal activity.
So this whole RICO wouldn't even count. That's what I'm saying. He's not using. I don't know.
That's like me working for, I don't know, say McDonald's got a company card.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working for McDonald's. I'm a manager at McDonald's.
Yeah.
And then I go buy I go buy a pound of Coke. Kilo of Coke, them 2 pounds, right? I go buy a kilo of Coke with my own money. They're like, we got a RICO on McDonald's now.
Yeah.
No. It's completely separate shit. How does that correlate to Bad Boy? If he's paying I take it back.
Go ahead.
He's not using the company card, but like you said earlier, his income is Bad Boy. He's using that money.
But where the fuck do
No. This makes sense.
Okay.
It's rinsing backwards. It's actually dirtying your money. It's not rinsing it's dirtying your money because you're taking clean money from your business. Even though it's in cash, it's still cash from what?
Clean
if they
shit.
could
If
they can prove that the cash came from bank accounts from
But what
Bad
if that's
Boy?
his only income?
No, it's not. These rich motherfuckers got a whole bunch of bank accounts.
Yeah.
But if that bank account is the business bank account,
right, this is what I was meant to say. First of all, how can they prove that? Because like you said, he got multiple incomes.
How can you prove where that money came from? Where that cash came
from? What if
they
it came from his De Leon contract?
Well, they can if they figure out when he bought something, for instance.
He had money for years.
I know. But they can, that's what I'm saying. It'd be hard, especially a rich person, but what they could do is they get some type of CI, somebody always has to snitch. That's one thing that has to happen. Motherfuckers has to snitch. Find out when he bought drugs, right? Or when when the sex workers came that he was paid from.
Yeah.
They could follow that money as far as how were they paid? Were they paid in cash? Okay. Let's get a warrant for his bank accounts. Go to that bank, save everything. Go to that date and look at all his bank transactions for that date, around that time, to see if any money came out. And if the money that came out was the same money paid to these sex workers, they could try to correlate that together. Yeah. That's a lot of work and that's a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of, they will have to go crazy like that. And even that is still weak. Because he probably takes money out every day.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands probably
strip
every day.
Club, all that shit.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, nah, that money was for the strip club. I always take that amount of money out. You know what I'm saying?
And it's his money. He can do what he wants.
He could do what he wants with it. I mean, illegal shit, yes, I get it. If it came from the business, okay. But that's yet to be proven.
Yeah.
Kid Cudi now. So who do you think scored more points with Kid Cudi, the government or the defense? Because it seemed to me that they both scored points with him.
I thought it was a good cross-examination, but I really like him as a witness for the government. I think it's a very strong way to end before a 4-day weekend, because you got two things out of it. You know, obviously a jealous Combs who broke into his house, right? I mean, that's pretty crazy. And it just shows how dangerous he may be. And then you have this Molotov cocktail in his car. So, and really the way it ended, you know, obviously Kid Cudi said he got played, but he also
he does defamation, and he threw that Molotov cocktail in his
that
car.
is defamation. You can't prove that.
That was never proved, especially with the evidence saying that he did not do it. Physical evidence, I mean. I'm not talking about circumstantial evidence.
Actual evidence. DNA.
That's why they call it physical and circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial is weak by itself.
Said that he broke up with Cassie because he was worried for his own safety and he didn't want to deal with the drama. This just goes to show that sort of pattern of violence and really paints a picture of a dangerous individual for the jury.
Well, we'll keep an eye on it. They liked him in that courtroom. That
if he was so of course he's dangerous. He's dangerous to women like a bitch, right? But if he was so dangerous to him, he would have put hands on him then. There's never been a mention that he ever put hands on him. So, I don't know.
The jury apparently liked him. A lot of people liked him. It sounds like he made a really good witness. So he even posted on X about it afterwards. So, you know, it is what it is, right? I mean, I wish we had cameras in there, but all we can do is look at the testimony and then talk about it afterwards. Nima Rahmani, thank you so much.
Thanks, Anjanette. I'm sure we'll talk real soon.
So they got a 4-day weekend. I'm kind of curious on who else they're going to bring to the stand.
Yeah.
I am curious. I know they had Cassie. I think that was it so far, right?
I think so.
I
haven't really been following this case, but that's all I heard. Cassie, Cudi. Oh, I heard they might have Albie Short. That's the one that's the one that's gonna get Diddy.
Yeah. Eventually, they're gonna bring J. Cole into this.
J. Cole not getting on the stand, bro.
They have to subpoena. If they subpoena you, you have to go.
J. Cole's not getting on the stand.
If they subpoena you,
why would you have to go? What are you gonna do? Jail time?
My last fight was with Diddy.
Wait, you'll do jail time if you don't show up?
Yeah, you have to go. You have to get. If you get subpoenaed to court, you have to come. You don't gotta say what they want you to say, but you have to go to court. It's called a subpoena. You have to go.
The fuck?
You didn't know that?
No, nigga.
Yeah, you gotta come. Pause.
Yeah, that's.
You said it first. Hey yo.
Yo, yeah, just hey, yo, that was wild. I'm uncomfortable now.
Listen, like, comment, subscribe.
You a snitch, free dick. No,
that's crazy. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let us know. Did he do it?
He
You're
did.
rocking with
Vibe&Views.
Vibe&Views. Peace.